Radius, diameter, and circumference. A circle is the set of all points in a plane that are the same distance from a point, called the center. The circumference is the distance around the circle. The diameter is the distance across a circle through its center. The radius is the distance from the center to any point on the circle. And pi is approximately 3.14 or 3 14/100. The table shows the approximate measure of two sizes of hula hoops. Describe the relationship between the diameter and the radius of each hula hoop. So let's start off with the child hula hoop. I see that the radius is 14 inches and the diameter is 28 inches. Do you notice a relationship between those two numbers? If you said that 28 is 14 times 2, then you are correct. Let's look at the adult hula hoop. The radius is 20 inches and the diameter is 40 inches. Do you see a relationship between those two numbers? Again, the diameter is twice the radius, so 20 times 2 equals 40. Now that we've described it with numbers, we need to put it into words. Each time, the radius times 2 was the diameter. So the diameter is twice the size of the radius. Describe the relationship between the circumference and the diameter of each hula hoop. Let's take a look at the diameter of the child hula hoop. It is 28 inches and the circumference is 88 inches. Now I know that's more than 2 times 28. Let's see if it's close to 3 times 28. It's very close. If we did 3 times 28, we would get 84, which is very, very close to the circumference. If I multiplied by 4, I would go over, so we're just going to stop there. Let's look at the adult hula hoop. I have 40 inches for the diameter, and I know that 40 times 2 is 80, so that's not going to get us to the circumference, but again, let's try multiplying by 3. I get 120. So that's really close to the circumference, which is 126 inches. So the circumference is just a little bigger than 3 times the diameter. So we can calculate the radius and diameter of a circle. The diameter d of a circle is twice its radius r, which is what we just discovered when we did the hula hoop activity. So the formula we would use is d equals 2r. We can also say the radius r of a circle is half of its diameter d. So another formula we could use would be r equals d over 2. Let's look at this problem. The diameter of a circle is 14 inches. Determine the radius. The first thing I want to do is write the formula I'm going to use. For this problem, I'm going to use the radius equals the diameter over 2. And we'll replace the d with 14. So we have r equals 14 over 2. And then we simply solve. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So the radius is 7, and then we have to label with our units. And it is inches, so the radius is 7 inches. The radius of a circle is 8 feet. Determine the diameter. So our first step again is to write the formula, and this time I'm going to use the diameter equals 2 times the radius, and I'm going to replace the r with 8. So I still have d equals 2, and then I'm going to put 8 in parentheses, so that means I have 2 times 8. Well, 2 times 8 is 16, so d equals 16 feet. The circumference of a circle is equal to pi times its diameter. So we could use c equals pi times d, or we could also say the circumference of a circle is equal to pi times twice its radius. So we could say the circumference equals 2 times pi times r. Remember that pi is 3.14. Determine the circumference of a circle with a radius of 21 inches. Well, our first step is to write the formula. We're given the radius, So the formula that makes the most sense to use is C equals 2 pi r. And then we're going to replace pi with 3.14 and r with 21. So we have C equals 2 times 3.14 times 21. Now order of operations does apply, so I'm going to go ahead and do 2 times 3.14 first, and then once we have the product of those two numbers, we'll multiply that by 21. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video to solve that on your own, and then press play to check when you are done. So 3.14 times 2 is 6.28, and then we multiply that times 21, and when we do that we get 131.88 inches, or 131 8/88 inches. Determine the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 70 centimeters. First we need to select a formula, and we're given the diameter, so the formula that makes the most sense is the circumference equals pi times the diameter. Now we can replace pi with 3.14 and the d for diameter with 70. And so all we have to do to solve is 3.14 times 70. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and solve that on your own, and then we will discuss in class tomorrow.